educates, syncopates, radio communicates, radio, the sound of year-round pleasure.
Hey everybody, please listen to this. You're listening to Come Along Radio, the only show on the internet that covers the rich history and the sweet sounds of city pop. I'm your DJ, Rocket Brown, and I'm ready to get down. And I'm here with my buddy from Kaiokoku Plus, Jay Canuck.
Howdy everyone, nice to meet you. Happy Mother's Day, by the way.
Yes, happy Mother's Day to all of the mothers, grandmothers, and sisters holding it down.
Mamas, baby mamas.
Yeah, exactly. And what's that noise? It's the man who proves that the pen is mightier than the sword. JM the Bard.
Hey, what's up, everybody? My name is Justin Garcia, aka JM the Bard, writer and musician extraordinaire.
Absolutely. Thanks for joining us today, man. It's good to have you. And of course, I like music. This guy. And we've got another talented musician over here, Afrocentric Jukebox. What's going on, Jay?
What's going on? I'm just celebrating Mother's Day with my brother, who is away in another country right now. Unfortunately, he couldn't join us.
Yeah, it's true, man. Tell him I said, good luck.
Why would I tell him that you're right here?
I hate you.
Okay, the secret's out.
All right, come on, expose. No, it's good to have you guys on the show. We've got a very special album that we're going to review today. This week's album is going to be by the king himself, Tatsuro Yamashita, and his 1988 album, Boku no Naka no Shounen. That was the album where Tatsuro Yamashita had finally mastered the art of synth pop. He was a bit behind on the times there. Artists like YMO and Toshiki Karamatsu had beat him to it, but he got around to mastering that craft and that sound, and it culminated in his final 80s album, which we're gonna see how well it holds up today. What's your experience with Tatsuro Yamashita, Justin?
Oh, let's see. Besides, I think I came into city pop. A bunch of people in the modern era came into city pop. We were talking about it earlier. You hear vaporwave music, you hear future punk, and you try to scour the internet to see who's sampling what, who's borrowing from whom, who's remixing what.
Right.
And thanks to that and my friendship with you, Tatsuro Yamashita just became one of those artists I gravitated to almost instantly, just from like some of the first bass lines I heard on like Bomber and Hot Shot.
Absolutely.
So after that you really start going to the full cuts, and I've basically listened to every Tatsuro Yamashita album, I think, including the live albums, Live at Niagara, Joy, some of the
Live at Niagara.
Obscure,
that's pretty dope.
some of the more obscure ones like Rarities or Tatsuro Yamashita on the Street Corner 1 through 3.
Yeah.
So I would say that I have a pretty good knowledge, or at least understanding of his music and styles and how he's gravitated and changed as he's gone throughout the years, from really funky heavy bass right to really soulful albums where he's just trying to sing his heart out to you, versus this album that we're talking about today, which is my favorite album, where it gets into a lot of like synth pop and stuff. This is actually my favorite album.
Oh wow.
So I'm really excited.
Yeah, you know what? It's one of those things where it's like picking a favorite Tats album is like picking, your favorite child. It's almost impossible.
You have one, and you can never tell the others that you have your favorite. But you have one. But it's hard. It's hard.
Very true. Very true. But we're going to find out today what makes this album so special. So let's get into the first song. Neo Tokyo Rhapsody.
Would you like a cigarette for the afterglow?
Listen, man, almost. I just might. That was Neo Tokyo Rhapsody, and golly, what an intro.
Definitely a sign of things to come. Definitely, in terms of how the album's structured.
Mm-hmm.
I was telling RB here, I'm like, oh, is that a harmonica? He's like, yeah. And I'm like, next time the trumpet comes in, I'm like, is that the harmonica again? And he's like, no, that's the trumpet.
That's
I'm like,
the trumpet.
oh, I was about to say, that guy's going off. I was like, what?
This album has a lot of that. Lots of horns, like the sax solo, lots of trumpet work, and I think with this album especially, you're going to get one of two things. And I noticed this while listening to it again. You get songs that are like this, very breezy and upbeat with like a lot of synth work and stuff, and then you're going to get the song that comes after this, which is just ballad time. Ballad.
Right. I mean, here's the thing though. It's like, right off the bat, it's like there's already a perfect balance between the synthesized instruments and, you know, the actual acoustic stuff. It's like, I can't think of another synth pop song where just a harmonica just pops in and just starts me, and I'm just like, what? Yeah, it just goes off, man.
It was invited to the party.
He must have, man. Give him the in his plate. Golly.
John Faddis behind the trumpet there.
Hey, okay.
Who was I think he's a protege of Dizzy Gillespie, very iconic jazz. And and so I thought, okay, it's like when I first heard that trumpet song, I think, good golly, I mean, I know that Stevie Wonder got dizzy for one song. It's like Tatsuro got dizzy for one song. But it was actually his protege, John Faddis.
See, that's crazy because I immediately thought of Stevie Wonder when the harmonica started. So that's crazy that you said that. But apparently this song was inspired by the sounds of Freddie Hubbard, if you're familiar with Freddie Hubbard. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And that's also why he had the flugelhorn.
Yeah, he was actually thinking of putting the flugelhorn for where actually the harmonica came in, actually, but then he changed his mind and said, okay, we'll just go with harmonica.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, but apparently, according to the Japanese Wikipedia article on the single for Neo Tokyo Rhapsody, Tatsuo apparently did about a couple of loops on one of the Tokyo highways, trying to think of how to set up this song. He finally got off one of the interchanges, went to a parking lot for a park, and then set about just to write everything down while he was in the driver's seat, apparently.
Yeah, that's how inspiration happens, man.
I guess, yeah.
It strikes you in the weirdest moments.
And
in the strangest of places.
It strikes you even when you don't want it to strike you.
and that's the worst. I don't know what's worse, when it strikes when you don't want it to, or when it strikes when you don't want it to and you're in an inconvenient place without a pen to write it down.
Golly. Hey man, who could say which is better? All I know is Neo Tokyo Rhapsody. We're off to a poppin' start, man. We're cooking with fire. You know what I'm saying? I'm excited for the next song. Let's get into it.
Get back in love again.
All right, and that was Get Back in Love. Again. Oh man, what a quintessential love ballad right there. You know what's crazy is that Tats always makes these very the first comparison that comes to mind is like these very Eric Carmen, Barry Manilow type ballads. Like I'm thinking like Mandy, or I can't think of any, or Fooling Myself by Eric Carmen, that type of thing. But what makes Tats great is that he could go into what I like to call Luther Vandross mode and just start crooning and stuff like that. Putting them in those.
It's very raw, which is when Tots gets raw. When Tatsuro really gets raw, you could feel like he's trying to tug at your heartstrings. Like he's like, "Ooh, I'm trying to make you feel something." And I think what I like what I was talking about with the first song we were talking about, and then this one, you now know what you're getting into. And in fact, if you haven't listened to this album really closely before, the next song is going to reflect back to Neo Tokyo Rhapsody. Then the song after that is going to reflect back more on Get Back in Love. In this album, it's very breezy ballad, breezy ballad, breezy ballad, breezy ballad. And that, like, you would think that type of structure would give you almost a whiplash of, well, there's so much happening with these two very disparate styles. But because it's coming from Tots, it melds a little better. It feels like it's a smoother transition. It sways instead of rocks.
I also think he just knows how to make each song feel unique.
Oh yeah, like without question.
Honestly, none of the sounds sound anything like each other outside of like
No.
the instrumentation. But when you could tell what song's coming up in like the first 3 notes.
Yeah, I mean it's a quintessential Tatsuro ballad. I mean with the overdub. I mean again in that falsetto of his. It's just
Absolutely.
makes it for a very epic ballad by Tatsuro. Actually, it was supposed to be. I mean, the song was actually supposed to have been made for Masayuki Suzuki. I mean, the guy who was behind Boku. Apparently, for his Radio Days album, which was coming out, I think maybe it was the previous year or in 1988.
Oh,
but
that's right. Yeah.
but apparently, the director of the project for Radio Days basically told Tatsuro, "No, I think really, you should be the one singing this." And so I think Tatsuro was convinced by the argument, and so he decided to record it himself.
I think that director made the right call because I like Masayuki Suzuki, but this is definitely a Tats song right here.
Yeah, I mean it definitely sounds it for sure.
Yeah, because they share a couple of songs. Like they've done a couple of the same songs.
That's right.
Misty
Mauve
and stuff, or
Yeah.
Oyasumi or whatever. This song I think is a song that only Tats could pull off.
Mm-hmm. And I think the director kind of knew that.
Absolutely.
Tatsuro, this is your song. You got to record it.
Mm-hmm. We're off to a great start, man. Let's head to the next song.
It's about a girl, and she's wearing a color. What color is that?
No, she's got me so excited. Tell me for the girl in white.
Oh man, he's doing it right, man. I don't know about you, but he's doing it right.
It's just raspberry
yes.
beret, but Tatsuro Yamashita.
It is, but also, actually, RB, I want to see if you get the same thought process as I do.
Okay.
So, especially near the end of the song when he starts breaking it down, and it's just the overall melody and kind of going along with the words.
Mhm.
I get Sega Genesis vibes a lot.
was-
Yo,
just
we
saying.
were literally
I was
just
just
talking
saying.
about that Sonic the
I heard
Hedgehog 1
the
bass line.
Yeah.
That Labyrinth
Yeah.
Zone
Yeah.
vibe, you know? Oh my god.
So because I started thinking Sonic the Hedgehog and a Sega Genesis sounding sound card, my brain instantly went to Sonic 3, which instantly connected it to Michael Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
Ah.
Mm.
Conspiracy. No, I feel like you're on point there. I think it's important to note that the Sega Genesis music, especially Sonic, heavily influenced by the 80s sound, particularly when you listen to the city pop and stuff like that. Like I remember I was just talking about this with somebody on YouTube. You know, he was telling me how like some of the music from Sun Shower, when we did the Sun Shower review, Alan, it was reminding him of some songs from Super Mario Bros. 3 on the NES.
Oh, okay.
And I was telling him how like when you listen to the Sonic Adventure soundtrack, Sonic Adventure 1 specifically, it's like as a kid I'm like I don't know how to pinpoint the music, right? Because it's like a fusion of jazz and rock and roll and synth pop. But then I listened to
So you're saying no?
Hody Project and
Yeah.
Cassiopeia and T-Square, and I'm just like,
Mhm.
that's where they got it from.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
So a lot of these game soundtracks are kind of like being inspired by all of this city pop and all these artists from, let's say, from the 70s and 80s. You're saying? Eh?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, well, particularly,
Without question.
especially Sega games.
So hear me out. Girl in White, Sonic 3, Michael Jackson is Tatsuro Yamashita, just Michael Jackson hiding.
Shut up, Tremaine.
The possibility. this is
Michael's not dead, y'all. He pulled the Tupac.
This is an-
He pulled a Tupac.
this is an X.
God.
This is an X file.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
But yeah, what's it called? The Girl in White, excellent song. Definitely like the sound, the synth sound they're using, very reminiscent of Sega Genesis. But it's done in a way that's really cool because it's a lot of 50s, 60s doo-wop vibes. And
Yeah, and
it's
I
not
think
a sound that I usually hear with synth pop.
yeah, and I think it was supposed to be. It was like Tatsuro was approached by Suntory, who actually, if you can write a jingle for their brand of whiskey, which was called Suntory White, and so apparently he came up. So thus came the Girl in White.
I see. Also, I think you mentioned that vocal group 14 Karat
14,
Soul did a cover of the Girl in White.
which is actually on YouTube. So if you look for that in 14 Karat Soul and the Girl in White, yeah, you'll find the song on YouTube
Nice.
easily.
Right
Yeah,
on.
yeah.
I'll
But
check that out.
apparently they asked him, because I think they wanted to get actually a vocal group from the United States to come and do the song. So I think Suntory asked, well, do you think we should ask 14 Karat Soul or the Persuasions? And Tatsuro said, well, I think 14 Karat Soul might be amenable. And so apparently they got them to do it.
I see.
Good looking it out.
I'm familiar with the Persuasions. I don't know if you're not familiar with 14 Karat Soul. They're basically a all black version of Shanana.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, just based off of some of the songs that I've heard from them. Yeah, man, the Girl in White's it's a poppin' too, man. Love the synth font. Love the outro to this song. It's one of my favorite Tats outros. He's doing it so right, man. I'm telling you.
Weird little, because he's got the steady drum beat going, but he's also got that like weird little kind of like click, 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 like going.
Oh, the fake cowbell.
Yeah, kind of going on in the background. It almost sounds like someone's like clacking coconut shells together or something. It adds like a weird little flavor to the song that I really enjoy.
Oh, I agree, absolutely.
If you think your song is missing something, it's just the answer is always just cowbell. No matter what.
You can never have enough cowbell. You can never have enough. Yeah.
Got a fever.
The only prescription is cowbell.
We didn't date ourselves with that joke, not at all.
What are you talking about? You're
Not at
old,
all.
not me.
I used to watch Dan Aykroyd and Bill Murray on Saturday Night Live. How old is that?
I think it's old enough for us both to go listen to the next song and cry.
始まりは何気ない僕の小さな一言
Alrighty, and that was A Cold Summer. Now we're getting into some Eiichi Otaki, Harry Hosono, Tropical Dandy vibes here.
I don't remember that.
I don't remember that. Well, you see, Jermaine, there was an album that came out in 1976 called Tropical Dandy by Harry Hosono.
Oh, I meant Space Dandy. My bad.
Oh, is that what you meant?
Oh, whoa.
I had no idea.
Good use of strings. I getting on topic of the song, like the strings really sell this.
Really worked there.
Yeah, absolutely. If you ever get a chance just to check out A Long Vacation by Eiichi Otaki, very, very same vibe, kind of that Phil Spector type of Wallace sound stuff with the orchestration and the the sort of Latin
It also
percussions.
has that kind of Motown vibe too. Has a little bit of a Motown vibe as well.
It does.
Mhm.
He blends it really well with this, and I think that's it was a really great way to separate him from like I said, the Harry Hosono sound or the H.G. Otaki sound. Is that he's kind of able to blend in some of that soul in there, and it works out really well. You actually pointed out something interesting about the song.
Ask, Jay Canuck, do you know the percussionist, the drummer of the song? Do you know his name?
Let's see. I think I can find out for you.
Yeah, I think the drums were the most impressive part. To me, noticing how there was the one, what is it called, riff that they did, where it changed the drum beat instead of the kick on the 1 and the 3, it was the snare, right? And that was in the middle of the song. And then at the end, the snare comes back to 2 and 4.
Right.
It was just very cool. Like, it was very impressively and well done.
One thing I'm kind of picking up from the JWiki description of it is that apparently Tatsuro actually wanted to make this kind of a Jimmy Webb type of song initially, but he said he's kind of changed or so somewhere.
I'm not too familiar
didn't end
with
up that
Jimmy
way.
Webb myself.
No, I mean he came up with songs such as Wichita Lineman, MacArthur's Park for Richard Harris back in the 60s or something.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But as for the strings, and I think we can all agree the strings were just wonderful here.
Oh yeah,
that was
shout
by
out to Katsu Shia.
Katsuhisa Hattori.
Excuse me.
Yeah, and he was the guy who also helped out on Tatsuro's Christmas album in 1993.
Of course he did. That's great.
Yeah.
On the drums either, but I think actually if Genius can be listened to, I don't know if that's like reliable, but I'm thinking it says the drums here are Jun Aoyama.
Oh yeah, the drummer
it is
Jun
Jun
Aoyama.
Aoyama.
He's been with Tats for years up until he passed away.
Very veteran session musician. It was on lots of
He is the Tatsuro Yamashita band. Jun, Koki Ito, Kazuo Shina, Hiroyuki Namba, and Hidefumi Toki, the saxophone guy. That's the Tatsuro Yamashita sound right there.
Yeah. But yeah, it's a lush ballad. It really is.
I agree.
Oh yeah, and a nice change of pace from the other ones too.
I see the song was written by Maria Takeuchi.
That's amazing.
Was it?
Well, that's what I read.
I did not know that.
Well, doesn't it say that there? Am I wrong?
Oh yeah, she wrote the lyrics.
Nice.
Hey, there you go.
It's nice to have that trade-off from time to time.
Yeah, exactly. That's pretty dope.
Yeah.
All right, so that wasn't such a cold summer after all.
We're gonna heat it back up again now too, because we gotta go fishing.
Alrighty, and that was Odoroyo Fish, also known as Dance and Fish.
That's impressive.
It's hard, I guess.
It's hard.
We were talking about Sonic earlier, and if this song was in the Cat minigame of Sonic Adventure 1, I think it'll be a little bit funner.
I agree.
Especially with that guitar riff that kind of goes on in the background, that like.
Yeah, that's true.
Very wavy, kind of has that like chilling at the beach vibe, or in this case, chilling in a fishing boat. But or chilling and dancing in a fishing boat. Since I guess we can't just chill.
Or chilling inside of an ice cap zone.
Yeah, very true.
The guitar riffs, that's very subtle and understated, but it kind of fattens up the sound a bit. The backing vocals, the way they're layered on top of each other, feels like I remember Smokey Robinson used to talk about the harmonies that the Temptations would come up with, and he said he'd call them his 5 deacons because their harmonies sounded like church harmonies. And this album kind of toys a little bit with that. I honestly feel like this song and a couple others that are coming up later. But the way Tatsuro and just layering all those vocal tracks together, making these really fat backing vocal sounds that almost sound like strings in a way. So, adore them.
Mhm.
Absolutely. In this case,
I mean-
Tatsuro is his five deacons.
Yeah, I mean, you were mentioning about, I think the Bard was talking about chilling and stuff like that. Ironically, he was approached to write this song by All Nippon Airways for their annual Okinawa campaign. So yeah, tried to get everyone coming over to Okinawa to basically relax and chill and all that kind of stuff.
That's right. This was his attempt at recreating that Tatsuro Yamashita summer magic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, especially with I guess another song that was part of the Okinawa campaign years back was, I think, High Pressure Girl, Kokiatsu Girl.
Yeah, Kokiatsu Girl.
Love
Oh.
that song.
That's the
Mhm.
song I was talking about. That this reminded me of.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Oh, there you go. Okay. Mhm.
absolutely.
And yeah, it was released as a single. I think it went up all the way to number 19 on Oricon.
Nice. It's a really fun song. It's not my personal favorite summer song by Tats. Like I said, Kokiatsu Girl
Mhm.
being probably one of my absolute favorites. And, Big Wave. But, yeah, but,
That's a big wave.
yeah, man. But Dancing Fish is a really good way to end off the A side. Because, so far we've had a lot of the bright and cheery songs. But now we're coming up to, honestly, my favorite part of the album, which is the B side.
Favorite song is coming up next too.
Oh,
Very
yeah.
cool. Before we move on,
Yeah.
I just wanted to point out what Justin was talking about with harmonies. It's always very impressive hearing recorded harmonies because, there are a couple ways to go about recording harmonies. You can just, if you're by yourself, you can just record yourself over and over again, in different pitches, or you can have an actual voice quartet. And so it's like, Justin made that point about harmonies, and I'm like, the engineer to this song is probably like gushing in a sea, listening to these harmonies over and over again, trying to mix them, to mix them together, and make them sound good. It's like, oh my gosh.
I think probably the only other demanding person than Tatsuro Yamashita would have been Steely Dan in terms of trying to get those harmonies just right.
Oh, God. Let's not get started with Steely Dan, man.
夜を飾るレガシよ心を解き放ってオリオンは西に沈んだ振り向いて
Woo! And that was Luminescence. And my God, I wish you could see JM, I wish you could see Tremaine's face right now. Oh my God. He was freaking out.
Why was he freaking out?
It's so
For a little
strange to hear Tatsuro Yamashita say, "Oh wow, I like Boys to Men. How about Boys to Me instead?" that was strange. I just couldn't. I was, oh wow.
Tat said yes.
If I may gush for a quick second, just on this one track, if I could gush for a minute.
Absolutely.
The beginning, the way it starts off with that very like that very almost seductive drum beat and the very low minimalist, all of a sudden to a gut punch with the keyboard slide into the bah. Oh, first note really hitting heavy. It's got a weird, like, kind of live auditorium sound almost in terms of the recording. The backing vocals and the main vocals are these long tumbling runs, the whoa, 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 whoa. Just the entire way, he's just gunning it 100%. And it's not a fast-paced song, but he's going like 1,000 miles per hour on them vocals.
Oh yeah.
The pulse, it's like, this is why this is my favorite track of the album. There's just so much, it's so big and wide sound, and Boys to Men is probably a very apt comparison, or just like a lot of R&B that came at the time that's really big on instrumentation, but also equally big on voice.
Absolutely.
I'll just a quick point. Like you made a point about him going 1,000 miles per hour, and I would concur. Like he's not just going 1,000 miles per hour, but he's going faster and faster as he continues on. Like he's still going. He keeps going. You know, it's not just him at this stale. Like oh no,
the velocity is increasing.
Exactly. It's really beautiful actually.
So you were mentioning about Boys to Men now. Boys, who are the guys producing Boys to Men by chance? Who was taking care of their sound?
I forgot.
By chance, was it Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis?
Boys, it might have been. Let me see, because they were Boys to Men was Motown, if I recall correctly.
Okay,
right?
yeah.
Well, Boys to Men, yeah.
So,
Because according to Tats, he was saying he was trying to go for a Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis sort of sound with Luminescence.
Really?
Apparently. Yeah. Okay. So I'm not sure if that has anything to do with Boys to Men, but I mean, if Boys to Men were produced by these guys, then I kind of figure, oh, okay, maybe that's where the connection comes in.
Right. I see.
You're right. I just found it. They have worked with Tim Kelly and Bob Robinson, Babyface, and Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis.
SOS Band.
And New Edition.
There you go.
Yes.
There you go.
Yeah. I was gonna say this is more
go.
New Edition than Boys to Men.
There you go.
But yeah, no, you're on the money there.
The strange thing is, again, it's like how he was inspired to do this song. Apparently, he was taking a very early morning walk, about 3 a.m. in the morning, with his dog, and apparently he saw like the constellation of Orion in the sky, which I think is very unusual when you're in Tokyo to do that. And apparently, from just seeing the Orion constellation, he said, "I got to write a song about this." So Luminescence came about.
I was just walking my dog one day, and this amazing song just came out of my head. You know, saw the stars and had to put this gold on paper.
Absolutely.
And it got to be done by the Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis style.
Yeah.
Yep.
Can you credit my dog, by the way, as the writer?
Yeah. Well, sure. Okay. Yeah.
It was you all along, Silent Hill 2 dog.
God, imagine working on astrology. Just like I'm in the mood for some Indian.
Yeah.
There you go.
I gotta do this in the style of the guys whom Prince kicked out of the Time because they produced the SOS Band.
Damn.
Oh wow.
Fun little fact of knowledge for you guys. Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis were kicked out of the Time by Prince because they produced the SOS Band when they were snowed in I think like Atlanta or something. And they weren't allowed to produce other acts.
Really?
So then they went on to make Janet. Then they went on to do Janet Jackson and create a new genre of music and New Jack Swing. So I think they won.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I was about to say.
And then they got to rejoin the Time anyway. So I think they super won.
I think they're the only winners here.
Uh-huh.
That's crazy, man. Music is a ride.
Music is a ride. Yeah. Have you heard Tats?
Have you heard that? I agree.
Yeah,
The music gets real sweet from here on out. Yeah, it gets sweet as marmalade.
Absolutely.
雨が止んだよ走り出すのさ baby 心のままに空はなって一面
Afrocentric said, "My friendship with Love Space has ended. Marmalade Goodbye is my new best friend."
There you go.
Yeah, Marmalade Goodbye, and that is that's one of my favorite. This is one of my favorite songs in the album. It's crazy. It pisses me off is that it's not even the last song.
No.
If you were to end
you got
it
two more
right
tracks to
here,
go.
I would have been satisfied because it just feels like such a triumphant conclusion.
True.
But there's still
But we
more,
need-
and that's the
We
crazy
need
part.
more. We need more. We always need more.
I'm just
Never
saying though.
not give us more.
Why say
Never
goodbye to me?
Not give us more.
Why are you
But
saying
wait.
goodbye to me?
Why say goodbye?
But
You're gonna come
wait,
back
there's
for your
more.
keys.
I know, right? It's crazy, man, and it's just a super feel good driving song. This is like the type of song you play when you just finished visiting family out of town. You're driving back to the airport. You see everybody in the neighborhood waving goodbye to you.
Or driving down the coast up on PCH. Shout out to Hitafumi Toki for that alto sax solo.
I was literally just about to say.
Yeah, so I have like a couple songs I compare to pop songs to, to put it up there as my favorites. One of them is Love Space, as you might have guessed. And
oh yeah,
I was like, oh, the saxophone. Oh, it sounds exactly the same energy as Love Space. Oh no,
same energy.
This is good. This is a good song.
Yeah, absolutely. And it just keeps going too. It never stops.
And
I hate how it fades out, man. He had more to say, man. He had more to say.
Come back, Tats.
Like the ending of Shane or something.
Also, shout outs to Tats breaking out the Glockenspiel. I haven't talked about that for any of the other songs, but yeah, there's a Glockenspiel going on through like all these tracks.
Is that what that is?
I haven't noticed
the little mini xylophone that you can hear, the little ding dong, like the little chimes that you hear in that song. That's the Glockenspiel, and
I just never knew what that was called.
It's a baby size like xylophone. It's very
listen, for a producer, the Glock is like a main go-to.
Absolutely.
And I always thought that was kind of like the thing about this song. It's like, it sounds a little bit like, what you heard on some of those 1960s movie soundtracks. It's like, whether it be Breakfast at Tiffany's or one of the Spy Caper movies, you heard that certain glockenspiel being used. So I thought, okay, that's an interesting thing to put in, actually.
Yeah,
it adds such a subtle touch, like when he's even in this song, just like during the verse, when it's just like dun dun dun, bing bing. It's just like little tiny touches.
Yep.
It complements the singing. That's the thing, and it's like it's done in a way where it doesn't feel cheesy. It feels like there's like the right amount of glockenspiel in there.
Meanwhile, the
right
bass is
amount of
holding it down. Like the bass.
The bass is.
Okay, come on, it's a Tatsuro Yamashita song. I mean, the bass will always hold it down.
Yes.
I mean, listen.
Always.
Koki Ito will always hold it down.
Exactly.
I mean, listen. Let's be real. When the bass is just playing one note, that's when you know it's
when you're
real.
grooving and he's only playing one note. I mean, you already know it's a good song.
Yup. It's like you don't need to add the butter notes. Don't need to add the butter notes. Just stick with what you know. That one note. Just hit it. Just hit it and then gallop. Gallop and then slap it.
I can't believe this.
And all of you guys were talking about driving. It's like this happened to have been this like Tatsuro's fourth song.
That's right, for Honda Integra, right?
At the Honda Integra, yeah, that's right. So I can only imagine how many Honda Integras he has in his garage right now. Yeah, it's like he and Honda must have like a lifetime membership or something like that.
Oh yeah, Jermaine, if you haven't noticed, the 80s was the age of the car.
Oh, really?
Especially in Japan. So most artists, they got their money from commercial tie-ins with like Honda, Mitsubishi, all that stuff.
Gotcha.
Tesla.
Yeah.
Right? He's stupid. But
the Tesla, yeah.
No, but everyone was doing like a car commercial tie-in.
It's fascinating how many of these songs are just straight up like commercial jingles, or just like I wrote this song for a commercial, as opposed to in American media, a song already exists.
Yeah, right.
It's turned into like the Outfields "Lose Your Love Tonight" for saving on a bank or something like that.
Yeah.
Rocky Brown and I talk about this all the time when we listen to like Disney songs or like stupid songs from like commercials or something. It's like, why did you go off?
It's like, why did you go this hard?
You didn't need to go off.
Why, Phil Collins? Why?
It's a Sonic game. Like, what are you doing? Or like, why are you going off? Like,
yeah, I know, right? Why did Lion King 2 get the best theme song? A better theme song than Lion King 1. He lives in you.
Like, it's just, it's so strange how people just have this
like, you didn't need to try this hard. But you did.
It's like the Tarzan soundtrack. It's like the Tarzan soundtrack.
Like the Tarzan.
Phil Collins is just in the booth, and you're sitting there going, Phil, calm down.
It's a Disney
for
movie.
real.
Listen, man,
this movie is Tarzan.
but it's like he did it for us. You know what I'm saying? And it's like I feel like Tats is one of those artists who's like he just puts 110% in like literally every song.
Right.
Oh yeah, and then he puts like an extra 110% if he's doing that same song live.
Oh, you know what's funny is what I've read is this is one of those songs that was harder for him to do live.
Oh, I'm sure.
He couldn't feel the groove, and he eventually stopped doing it. And you know, I wonder what happened. I wonder what it was about this particular song.
Because it's more bass than it is the actual drum beats or the percussions. Like it's the real rhythm of this song is not the drums; it's really the bass doing that.
Oh yeah, you're right.
So maybe playing it live in a certain setting, it's kind of hard to hear that bass. It's not like the old days where you feel it in the ground, like with a stand-up acoustic bass. You know, it's when you're electric, you know, you got to really hear it and feel it. But if you can't hear that song, you're gonna mess up on that beat every time.
Yeah,
because it's only the bass really holding that.
You know, nowadays, I bet you, if you ever thought of it, playing this song nowadays, you can bump up that bass however loudly you want.
Oh yeah, look at Thundercat, man. Absolutely. That's crazy.
And the Richter 2.5 or something, or Richter 3.0 or something through the ground.
Exactly. Yeah.
Nowadays, so, yeah.
And you could correct me on the wiki page, Jay Connacht, yeah, just from what I translated from it, this is one of the hardest songs. This is one of the songs that he had a harder time doing live. So
apparently, yeah. After a few tries, he said, "Nah, I can't do it anymore. Can't do Marmalade Goodbye, I'm sure."
Yeah, either you do it right or not at all. I mean, that's a fair sentiment.
So yeah. Goodbye, Marmalade Goodbye.
I know, right?
And it's not like you can pull a Rick James and just decide, well, I won't play guitar this time, I'll just play bass, because singing that song and playing that bass riff is probably like also really super hard. So
oof. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say lose about 10 pounds doing that song.
Probably, golly. That's a workout and a half, man. But hey, what can I say except Marmalade Goodbye? It's a jam.
Yeah.
If you're in the car, put this one up.
How you feeling over there, bruh?
Man, I almost pulled out the tambourine on this one. I was like, Oh man, so that was Sobolo, and I'm gonna be real with you. This is my absolute favorite Tatsuro Yamashita song of all time.
Sobo by the Reverend Tatsuro Yamashita.
Well, you know, you can get them
the album. Off the album, Tats Takes You to Church.
Tats Takes You to Church, man. You know, it's
for the people.
Yes, I believe Sobo translates to people. It's a song about, you know, sort of you find the meaning of life through everyday people and their struggles and, you know, their triumphs and things like that. And it was a song that I at first listened to my day didn't even start yet. Just had a bad morning. Missed the bus. You know, it was raining. All of a sudden, didn't have my umbrella. Missed the bus again. A whole bunch of stuff. Had to throw my mattress out. A whole bunch of just everything was going wrong first thing in the morning.
Burnt my mattress blues.
Yeah, and I put in my headphones, try to drown out the noise, and the song comes on. I just start crying. And I'm just like, God damn. I knew what the song was saying without actually knew what it was saying. It was one of those songs.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the great thing about specifically Tatsuro's music is like you could get a sense for what the song is about without even knowing the words. You can just kind of feel it, and I think that really pulls through with this song. And it's funny because this is a song that came from an experience that's probably familiar with all of us. Tats was in LA, and he was listening to the local gospel R&B channel, and he heard a gospel song. He was just so moved by it, but he couldn't remember the name of the song. He decided to immortalize it with Sobolo. This is not the greatest song in the world. This is just a tribute. You know what I'm saying? And
like, what's beautiful about the construction of this song is it's like half gospel song, half 1970s arena rock vibe, like that kind of song that comes on with the encore, and the band is like, "Okay, guys, we want you to sing with us."
Yeah.
So kind of routine where everybody, like we were talking about before, pull out your lighters. This is definitely the pull out your lighters and sing along. Song. I reach to you all the way out in the back of the arena.
Yep.
Type of vibe.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
Very, very uplifting. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yes, I agree. I love how gradually the chorus just kind of rises and rises.
Yeah, man, it gets you.
Mm-hmm.
It was like,
and I think I guess who were the backup singers for this song?
I believe it was Maria. It was Keisuke Kawada, actually, from Southern All Stars,
and Kazuhita Murata.
Yes, thank you, Kazuhita Murata.
And also Keisuke's wife, Yuko Hara from Southern All Stars.
Yeah, man, that's crazy.
So basically, you have the equivalent of a double date between two couples here doing this song.
Right.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, most couples go out. Most songs go out. Most couples go out for a movie, play bridge. These guys make a song.
Sing some gospel music.
Yeah.
Let's go to church.
Hey guys, why don't we make some gospel music tonight? Something uplifting, something snappy.
Hey, can you find a Maria's Free this Sunday? Okay, yeah. Oh, God. Story of my life.
Literally just turns around after he hears that on the phone. Maria, you free Sunday? I don't know, maybe.
Yeah, the Kawadas want to try a song.
Oh, let's do that.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I think we were kind of tired of playing the game of life all the time. Let's sing the song of life now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Speaking of the song of life, this song was I actually did first hear this song, or I got the name of it from the Yakuza game, Yakuza 6.
Was it in
Mm-hmm.
It was in Yakuza. It was the theme song of Yakuza 6.
That's so cool.
So, and if you
Really?
if you played Yakuza, if you played all the Yakuza games and you get to Yakuza 6, the song of life, it really hits you. There's two songs in there by Tats that hit you. One's called Human, and one's called Sobo. And I won't spoil how those songs come out, because it's really powerful, and both songs tie into the story of Kazuma Kiryu so well. As someone who just finished going through Yakuza 0 and Yakuza 1.
With Majima being everywhere.
Yeah, with Majima being everywhere. Oh, man.
Mm-hmm.
If you loved Baka Mitai, well, here you go.
Yeah.
Here's some more goodness.
Yeah, man.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's just it's just a really, really it's like a powerful song, man. I love
Power
it.
ballad.
It is a power ballad. It's absolutely
Straight up
I
a
would say
power
so.
ballad.
Yeah. And again, it's like it just came all of the fact because he just heard this gospel song that he had never heard and couldn't identify, and it was just distracting him. Decided to create his own song. So I mean, it's kind of like a parallel with Christmas Eve. Again, he's like irritated by the fact that people were just calling him that summer song guy. Said, okay, I'll show you. I'll make a Christmas song. Turns out to be the most famous JXmas song in history.
Yeah. basically.
Don't ever dare Tatsuro Yamashita, because he'll just like,
He'll
I
just
got
do
you.
it.
I'll just do it.
Yeah.
Oh, you don't think I could do hip hop? Well, here's Kiss.
Yo, hey,
Bam.
whoa,
Bam.
whoa.
Yeah, we're not.
Holy crap.
Yeah, you're not ready for that yet.
I'm not ready.
Yeah, yes. That's,
You wait until we get to what's the album? Sonorite?
Yeah, it was Sonorite.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm not ready.
Oh man, yeah.
You're
dude,
not ready.
I'm not ready. I wasn't ready for Luminescence.
I wasn't ready. I
I
wasn't
wasn't
ready.
ready for Luminescence.
All right. If you weren't ready for Luminescence, this next one is also like, I would say, if Luminescence was my favorite track, the next one is like number 2.
Ooh.
But the difference between like first place and second place was like a race between two Usain Bolts. One has to win, but it's not going to be by much. Like
Right.
we're talking milliseconds, nanoseconds. And
That's
in this
fair.
case, percentages of like 0.00001% difference.
I'm
This
actually,
next one is
mhm.
my other favorite track.
I'm gonna have to agree with you there because,
Mhm.
funny enough, it is the title track.
Oh, my little sweetheart, imakoso kimi no sweetheart, namae o yobu yo, sweetheart.
Alrighty, and that was Boku no Naka no Shounen, the boy.
Boom goes the dynamite.
And we absolutely
Absolutely.
could have said it better myself.
Mhm.
This is like a culmination of everything that worked in this album, just in one
Oh,
song.
yes.
Mhm.
Not only that, but the way it goes off on that musical tangent at the end, where it's just like, all right, we're gonna play, like we're just gonna kind of break away what we've been doing. You can kind of loop it right back to the beginning. Like it sounds almost like something that would bleed into Neo Tokyo Rhapsody, making this album kind of like something you can almost loop consistently.
So-
like it's just
Funny you mentioned
it's
that.
this infinity symbol of greatness.
Yeah. And what's crazy is that this song is basically about reincarnation, right? Like thematically, as like the lyrics and stuff like that. About I think he talks about like the experience of the experiences of your childhood being passed down to your children and stuff
Mhm.
like that. And then you get the ending with the drum roll, which
The
is I
drum
believe
roll,
3
yeah.
days of samples combined into one drum roll. And
Good heavens.
it starts playing the city ambience in the background. It's like, yeah, that is the perfect lead-in back into Neo Tokyo Rhapsody. So
It's a perfect loop.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean, Tatsuro was talking about the ending, and it's like it was completely, and he admits this was a completely crazy ending, but he said he really wanted to try something like that, and he compared it to. Now, I've never heard this album, but I mean, everyone talks about the Beach Boys' Pet Sounds.
Pet Sounds.
Yeah,
Oh,
Pet Sounds.
Yeah, and I mean, he wanted to try something along the same lines as the ending for Pet Sounds, and since I've never heard the album, just wanted to check if you guys have heard it and if it's comparable.
I would say it's actually comparable. Yes, it definitely has that same quality. I find.
Yeah, Pet Sounds was definitely like the Beach Boys' Abbey Road.
Yeah, it was their experimental album.
Yeah, like the instrumentation towards the end, where you start getting all those weird instrumentations on top of the drum roll. Very reminiscent of like the experimental stuff that Brian Wilson was doing. And we already know that Brian Wilson's a super big influence on Tats to begin with.
Yeah.
Yes.
Dude was covering Beach Boys for day one.
I also want to harp back on the backing vocals, something that we have talked about a lot in this for this album. But here, it's not even just how well layered they are and how big the sound is, but where they fit in pockets. So like you have the chorus that's going like "Sweetheart," while the background vocals are going "Ooh, ooh," and just like fitting right in the pocket, like almost like a call and response kind of way that these things are going against each other, and they're kind of clashing, but then also combining and forming. So it's like very interesting to feel this like powerful voices going against each other in that chorus, and then coming together into something real smooth,
Absolutely.
buttery.
It's
Yeah, I mean, I had never heard, this type of arrangement from Tatsuro before. This is a really unique song. I don't know of any other song that compares with this particular song in terms of Tatsuro's entire discography.
Honestly,
it's really a very unique way. Yeah.
I can't think of a single song, and I feel like that's kind of what makes this album so awesome. And Alan, I know you and Afrocentric in particular. This is you guys' first time listening to this album in full. I just want to say, like, after experiencing the entirety of The Boy and Me, what are you guys' thoughts, Jake Canuck?
You can go first.
I'd say, yeah. As I said, I don't own the I don't own the album yet. I'll probably go get it for sure, because I have the next album after that, Artisan from '91, I think.
Nice.
And I think it, and of course I've got a number of his albums from from his city pop days. But yeah, this one is really a very really fine album. It has a little bit of everything, really. Just all that up-tempo stuff, some of the doo-wop stuff, heart-rending ballads, and then you finish it up with something so unique, such as the title track itself. I think this is truly a really interesting album by Tats.
One of my favorite albums by Tatsuro Yamashita is Spacey, and it's solely because of Love Space. The rest of the songs I can be like, okay, I'm just listening to the album now. But Love Space always hits me, and it always makes me come back to Spacey. But I could say for this album, there are multiple songs that I can come back to, and like actually listen back and like, oh right, I remember that song. And then when you guys talk about Marmalade Goodbye, right, and saying it could be the last song of the album, it actually discouraged me. Like, oh, are the other songs like not as good? Oh damn, very wrong.
Oh, contraire.
Very incorrect. Wow, A Boy and Me was the perfect closure. I was telling Rocket Brown, my favorite anime is Gurren Lagann, and I was like, this could be one of the themes in Gurren Lagann, just
Yes.
Yes.
Oh my god.
Yes, absolutely.
Like,
that victorious
holy crap.
vibe. It's so victorious.
Yes.
It's so
Believe in the boy in me that believes in you, man.
Exactly. It's just
Correct.
such a grandiose song, but in such a
Such a subtle way.
It's not subtle. It's like it's just good. It's just well done. It's just
not
well
subtle.
done.
It is not subtle.
It's not subtle, but
it
it's
hits
well
you in
done.
the face
It's just
with what it is.
gorgeous.
I mean, I say that in a sense that like we associate something like Gurren Lagann with something grandiose, so
Right.
Like, oh, rock music, oh, symphonic orchestra. But this is just like,
And the thing that bothers me so much is that this is another song made for a Honda commercial. This is ridiculous. My guy
Honda Integra.
keeps popping off.
Yeah, can you imagine this song being used for a car commercial?
No.
It's like, yeah, I mean, I'm gonna have to search for that Honda Integra commercial now on YouTube just to see how how it all fits together.
Right.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like it was specifically produced for a commercial, and I'm just like, really?
I think the guys at Honda were kind of like scratching their heads. Okay, it's hats. Okay, we'll do it.
What was that
No,
album?
no.
Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon. Brought to you by ETAP.
I know, right? Kellogg's, right?
Probably like Kellogg's, yeah.
Yeah, the people that are kind of, given the okay for the song, they had to first, cry themselves to sleep.
Yeah.
The extra time was just processing how much money are we going to pay this guy.
Yeah. Basically.
Okay, I'm paying for your kid's education now. Here you go.
True.
Here you go.
Jeez, man.
But there's also, with that drum roll, I thought it was kind of like almost like a Christmas toy march aspect.
Yes,
to it,
I agree.
Yeah, that also
Yeah.
works.
Just drummer boy.
Yeah, exactly. I just thought, man, this is like the weirdest song I've ever heard from Tatsuro Yamashita. It's like, but it all works.
It does.
And it's a
work.
car commercial.
And it's a
Yeah.
It is a car commercial.
Yeah, it's like, what the heck is, okay, I don't want to cast any aspersions on Tatsuro, but was he drinking something at the time when he came up with the idea for this song or so?
I have no idea. I'm just glad
He'll
it
look
happened.
you square in the face and say, "Yes, life."
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, man.
I've been drinking. How about a cup of steaming life for you?
Here's the thing. I think at this point in time, this is an album made by a guy in the middle of his life, right? I think he's like 30 something, mid 30s at this point, and like he's been through all the musical ups and downs at this point. He's made it, right? This is like right around the time that Joy was coming out, like a year later. This is him expressing his musical journey, not just as a musician, but just as a kid who enjoys music. And you hear it in songs like The Girl in White, songs like Sobolo, The Boy and Me, you know, where it's just like you can hear the things that Tats grew up with, and you can hear the things that inspired Tats as a musician, and you can hear a bit of his future as well in each of these songs. And I think that's kind of what makes this album special for me. It feels like Melodies. It feels like what Melodies was trying to do in '83, but done right.
Mm-hmm.
I can see that.
Because Melodies was a similar way where it was just, these are all the songs that it felt like a collection of songs and not a full story. But this feels like a full story. That's all I was trying to say.
Yeah. I think also when it comes to Tats albums, they all run the gamut of like very different vibes, but to the nth degree. Like, is The Boy and Me the funkiest album? No, you'd probably give that to Ride on Time or the Moonglow album. Is it the most soulful album? No, you'd probably give that to Spacey. But when it comes to this one, it's so earnest, so honest, and like really emotionally driven. I would say more so than any other album he's put out. It's just so to the point and very honest with what it is. Like,
Absolutely.
it doesn't play around. It's very straightforward and to the point. We talked about there's no subtlety to this album. It is just in your face. It's big, it's bombastic. The ending is victorious. The opening is hopeful. And you go through all these gamuts of emotions. You know, the arena rock vibe that makes you feel like, you know, oh, we got to come together kind of vibe, like that the War song gave you. Or that... you know, the vibe you get from like The Girl in White or Marmalade Goodbye, just like that very fun, breezy type of vibe. And,
Absolutely.
It's so well crafted, and even from the way the tracks are arranged with the breezy ballad, breezy ballad, breezy ballad, up into the end, which is just a combination of the two.
Yeah.
It's just so well crafted and well constructed that I often find myself listening to this album multiple times in a row. And this is why this one has always been my favorite. Like, I love Tats' music as a whole. Like, I'll pop in the Ride on Time album or Spacey or, you know, the Moonglow album or Melodies or, you know, whatever. But this one in like pocket music, I find myself going back to often over and over, just a well that I never get tired of dipping from.
Absolutely. I think this and pocket music are albums that you could just listen to on repeat the whole thing and not even realize it.
Would you say this was basically the peak of his career in terms of these two albums?
I think so, yeah. Particularly The Boy and Me, I think this is peak Tatsuro. And
I agree with that.
I think if you're someone, I think there are enough good songs that are good introductions to city pop. And I think there are enough songs for people who are familiar with city pop or just Tats music in general that are looking for something different and unique. It's got a good blend of both. And yeah, man, I would just get it. Get it. What are you waiting for? Go get the album. It's on Amazon. It's on it's not on Spotify yet. God, it's not on Spotify yet.
Not yet.
Yeah, you can get it on Tower Records on the website. You can get it.
They have a website?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Oh, you didn't know? Yeah, it's the Tower Records.
I thought Tower Records. Whoa. Okay. All right. See, I remember the buildings.
Right.
So I didn't know Tower Records still existed.
It does in Japan, but big caveat here. If you are going to order from Tower Records, you need to have a Japanese address.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
You got to go through a middleman to get things shipped over to the United States or Canada.
I see. Yeah. There's a few other websites that if you look them up, you could probably get the album. But all I can say is it's a great investment. I think it's one of Tats's, if not the best Tatsuro Yamashita album. I know a lot of people really like For You. It's like there's a lot of iconic songs in it. But in terms of just Tatsuro Yamashita's evolution as a musician, I think The Boy in Me is it.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
1000%.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I appreciate you guys for joining us on this musical journey. I appreciate Jam the Bard for his insight on this album. I know you really like this album, so it was really great to hear your feedback on this.
I love this album so much. But thank you for bringing me on. It was great. It was
Absolutely. Yeah. Man, it's always good to have you here, man. And thanks again to Jay Canuck. If you want to learn more about the songs, visit Kayokyoku Plus as always. And
Thank you very kindly.
Absolutely, man. And let us know what album you want us to review next in the comments. What's your favorite album? Tell us your favorite Tats album. Tell us your favorite Tats song from this album.
Do pocket music. Who said that?
What happened?
Who said that? Who said that? I didn't say that.
Mm-hmm.
But until next time, I'm Rocket Brown, and I'll see you around.
Educate.